Hello, everyone. So, I am talking about CBD oil today because it has changed my life in a very real way. Different people respond to it on different levels, but I've responded to it kind of like hugely. Like, it's changed my life. It has changed my anxiety. It has changed my proclivity towards, like depressive episodes, that sort of thing. And those of you just joining, I'm talking about CBD oil and what it does. It is amazing. So this company is called Thought Cloud, and it's thoughtcloud.net. And so, so much research is been done on this. It's still in its infancy, right? So research is in its infancy on this, but what they have seen has been overwhelming. And that is just like in the beginning. And for those of you who don't understand what CBD oil is, so cannabis. Cannabis has basically over 100 compounds that make up the cannabis plant. THC is a psychoactive one, right? So THC is the one that makes you feel high. Well, there are other compounds in there that have nothing to do with like the drug effect of pot. And I personally have nothing against medical marijuana or even like people using it for recreation, but that's me. But I know that is a really like strong, some people, especially here in Utah, have some strong opinions on that. So I'm not trying to offend you, but I am entitled to my opinion on that. But so for those people who do have strong opinions and are like anti-pot and all this isn't the same thing, okay? So this is one ingredient of many that make up the pot plant, basically. And so this is CBD. Again, not the psychoactive. It's not making you high. This is the part of the plant that makes you feel calm. And it's legal in all 50 states. So if that doesn't tell you it's not like a drug, then I don't know what will. It's not a drug. So it has such amazing properties. It's treated everything from like light anxiety to GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. It's helped treat PTSD, and it has healing potentials. It's been shown to change gene expression. So it can remove, what are they called? So it helps with, there's a beta amyloid plaque that causes Alzheimer's, so it removes that. So it has been able to actually reverse some parts of Alzheimer's because it's so anti-inflammatory. So let me just get into how I use this and what this does for me. So I had, again, a really family journal. It's Thought Cloud, and the website is thoughtcloud.net, and I do have a discount code for you guys. Yes, it can prevent seizures. It's amazing. But the discount code is FairyFam, and you get 20% off. But I don't benefit when you use the discount code. So I in no way benefit. I'm going to have a link in my bio for you guys to link to this. But so there's this let's just talk a little bit about stress, like what stress does to the body. How about we talk about that? I'm so scattered right now. Where am I? Help me. Okay, so stress puts you into a fight or flight, right? Here's your brain. Here's something everybody needs to understand about stress and what stress does for you, okay? There's your brain. You have different parts of your brain. You have your frontal lobe, which is what we're going to be talking about. Temporal lobe, not important. Cerebellum over here, not important. We're talking about your frontal lobe. So your frontal lobe is what regulates your emotions, your cortisol, those kinds of hormones, okay? So basically, let me try to put this in layman's terms. When you are stressed, your body releases cortisol, okay? Cortisol is like that stress hormone that's fight or flight. Now, in prehistoric times, like we needed a stress hormone to tell us, to put us in survival mode, right? So in prehistoric times, we were like quicksand, bear, dinosaur, T-Rex, and all that stress, like we were stressed, our body released cortisol. Cortisol shuts down our feelings. So cortisol makes us stop feeling, and then it makes us focus, and it makes us survive, right? That's what stress does. Stress does really not have a place in the modern world, okay? We're expected all the time to go in very stressful situations and keep our shit together. We're supposed to go into work situations that are stressful and keep our shit together, right? So stress has no place in the modern world, really. I mean, it does. Like, if you're going to get robbed, that has a place. You're still trying to survive. Anyways, here's my point. The modern world is very stressful, so a lot of us are stuck in a perpetual state of stress. This is where I'm going to tell you. So the brain is a muscle. Did you know that it reacts just like muscles? Did you know if you are constantly in stress and your body is constantly releasing cortisone, you're actually going to grow the area of your brain that is stressful and decrease the areas of your brain that release serotonin and oxytocin, which are the happy hormone and the calm hormone, because it's a muscle. So the parts you don't use are going to start to atrophy. Just like a patient who's laying in bed and they're not using their muscles, and then they're in bed for like months and then they can't, walk very well because their muscles have atrophy. Your brain is a muscle. If you're constantly stressed, you're constantly exercising that part of your brain, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you become a cortisol monster, okay? So you're just always releasing cortisol, which has a lot. It just degrades your health. A lot, right? So if you are always releasing cortisol, you're going to gain weight, you're going to have mental fogginess, you're going to have joint pain because you're going to be really your body is really inflamed. So why I like CBD oil helps heal chronically stressed brains. Okay, so what it does is it helps with the regulation of your serotonin and oxytocin. So it helps your brain start releasing more serotonin and more oxytocin. And it doesn't just help it release it, it regulates that part of your brain. And it helps heal that part of your brain. Because what happens is eventually so much stress in this part of the brain, you've just grown that stress part this big, and the little happy part that's supposed to be releasing serotonin and oxytocin all the time is now this big. It's atrophied, and it's hardly releasing any serotonin or any oxytocin, and this is just cortisol, stress hormone. So CBD helps with that part, right? So it helps with serotonin. So what I have personally noticed by taking this is calmness. I have crippling social anxiety. It's not cute or funny. I'm fine around 3 or 4 people. When it goes north of that, no, not doing it. I will fake a heart attack to get out of a situation. I will legitimately fake pass out just to get hauled out by an ambulance instead of staying with people in a crowded room, because even saying crowded room makes me a little itchy. So this is what I've noticed about this. I have terrible anxiety, and it calms me. Now I take it 2 different ways. So this is waffle flavor, and this is Vape CBD oil. So I use it in a vape pen. And then this is really concentrated for sleep. And they also have one for allergies and inflammation, which is, oh my God. If you don't know much about inflammation, think of puffiness, right? There's a lot of things in our life that make us puffy. Let's put it in those terms, right? There are environmental toxins, puffy. Sugar, bad for you food, puffy. And they have basically proven that all these things that cause inflammation in our bodies lead to cancer, lead to Alzheimer's, lead to a lot of problems, joint pain, all these things, right? So inflammation is the enemy of a healthy body. So in your life, you want to really do everything you can to reduce inflammation. So I take a lot of turmeric, and this has been the most anti-inflammatory substance out there. You can actually reverse Alzheimer's from a certain point by just instituting a diet that is anti-inflammatory, that sort of thing. Basically, it's just all over good for you. It's anti-inflammatory. It regulates your serotonin and oxytocin. It's actually been proven to regenerate brain cells, which is really huge for people who've had strokes, Parkinson's disease, anything that deteriorates the brain, and people who have a history of drugs and killed a lot of their brain cells and want to just have a lot of brain fog. This has been shown to help them. I mean, it's kind of amazing. It helps with tumors. It helps stop the growth of tumors. I mean, it really is amazing. And again, it is, how do I take my turmeric? So I get the turmeric capsules from Costco because they're amazing. And like how they're harvested is like low, you know, like cold. So you're not leaching any of the properties out of the turmeric, which is nice. So like pretty much everything that you ingest that's a natural substance that you're trying to heal with, you want it like cold pressed. Like the best olive oil is cold pressed. This is cold pressed. And it's organic. And this is such a socially aware company, which I love. They give so much back to their community. They have scholarship programs, hardship programs. They give to cancer patients. I mean, they really like give a shit. Like it's a company that gives a shit, but they also harvest their product really well. It's organic. It is amazing. The difference between the oils. This is highly concentrated for sleep. And this is for your vape pen. Now, if you guys don't know, vaping is not smoking. A vape pen has an atomizer, and it has the ability to basically, on a microscopic level, like heat up, burst heat fluids, and turn them into vapor. So it basically can take a liquid and turn it into a cloud, just like water turns into a cloud. And it happens like that. So whenever you like inhale something and it goes into your lungs, it gets into your bloodstream much faster. So I've noticed this I take for just sustainable. And whenever you digest something, you're going to like lose some of the bioavailability of any product when you're digesting it. It's going through a whole like digestive enzymes and juices and absorption and all these things. But that's why it's so concentrated. And this comes in 3 different concentrations. This is the lowest concentration. And then there's a really high one. I get their bath bombs too. And they make you like really soft. They just like your skin really absorbs moisture, and it's really calming. They also have CBD for your pets, which is really cool because honestly, some pets are neurotic, which sounds crazy, even like saying it out loud. I've like made 2019 my year of mental health, and I've really just like woken up to some truths about mental health, but like even dogs can have some mental health issues. 1 in 4 adults in the US has an anxiety issue. Did you know that? So like, don't feel alone, don't feel weird, don't feel like an outcast. It's rather prevalent. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. If anybody has any questions, ask me questions. But it has made my mood very stable, and I'm very anxious. So my mood is usually like, and do you know why it's like that? So I was diagnosed with PTSD, and a lot of people throw around that term, but I was, like when I was a kid, I was like abducted for 6 years, which not, I mean, it was all over the national news, and we were like on Oprah and 60 Minutes and 48 Hours and all these things. So I'm desensitized, but I understand that when I say that, people have a real reaction to that sometimes, and it makes them uncomfortable. But like, I'm okay, right? Like I'm a functioning human being. I've made peace with things. The only lingering issue is like this PTSD. And basically what PTSD is when people are put in fight or flight situations for long periods of time. Remember I said your brain is a muscle? Well, when your brain is put that way in a long time, it reprograms your brain. And then your brain, a lot of time, is stuck in fight or flight. So in normal situations, you don't react normally to. You get really triggered very easily. So I get triggered very easly. Like if I get stuck in a car, like with a baby crying, like I have to pull over and get out because it triggers my fight or flight. It puts you in a survival mode, and you're just like ready to like fight or go down. Like it's just, PTSD is the worst thing in the world. And I actually want to start talking about that kind of thing more. And, anyways, writing a book maybe about everything that's happened to me. I've been thinking about, just because every time I tell it, it does seem to help people who are going through different situations. Anyways, we're getting off topic. I have PTSD. I am very reactive. I have like the emotional skin of a 3rd-degree burn victim, right? So just very reactive. And since I've been taking these, I'm not reactive. It's awesome. It's just, if you have anxiety, I really suggest that you try this because it makes you so steady. You're just like steady all the time. And if you're one of those reactive people, you've probably been through some sort of trauma in your life, and people always say, oh, well, mine's not like your trauma, like my trauma's not like your trauma. Never discount what you've been through. Just because I went through something so crazy on such a large scale does not discount your trauma. Like if your parents got divorced and that's something that you went through for months and months and months and it never stopped, that puts you in a fight or flight state of mind for a long time, and it can have lingering effects. Some people it doesn't affect, some people it does. So never discount what's happened to you all the time. I hear people discount it, so don't do that. If something bad happened to you, take measures to make yourself better, heal your brain. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to heal my brain, basically, in 2019. So I started with a trip to Laguna with like energy healing and Reiki, and I'm just like getting into everything. The Deepak Chopra Institute was really cool. Okay, oh God, there's a lot of questions. Okay, Jill asks which oil I prefer. They do different things. So this is a vaping oil that goes in the vape pen. And this is one that you ingest orally. So I like them both for different things. This regulates my mood around the clock. And this I vape right before I go to bed. I'll do it like 6 times. Isn't it cute? It's so pretty. I'll do it like 6 times. And so I usually lay in bed for 2 hours. Oh, if you have like racing thoughts before you go to bed and you cannot stop and you cannot fall asleep, this will totally chill you out. And again, not pot. You are not getting high. It is just one ingredient in the, cannabis plant that calms people. And I hate it when people get so judgy about this. They'll like be judgy about this and their kid is like on Adderall. And you're like, okay, you're judgy about a plant that's not even a drug. But like Adderall, and yeah, no, Adderall is necessary. It helps a lot of people, but Adderall is legalized speed. It's amphetamine salts, and that's really hardcore. You know what I mean? And so try to be open-minded about this, truly. People hear the cannabis plant and they like shut the hell down. They're like, nope, done, no. It's one compound and it's not even the THC. It's not the drug. They can separate the ingredients in the cannabis plant, but it has changed my life. My PTSD used to be so bad and I was so reactive I couldn't even keep a job. Because I would have episodes where I'd wake up and I just couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't go to work, or somebody would trigger me at work and then I'd like, which people don't ever believe because I seem so nice. I am nice. You can be nice and have PTSD. It's a thing, but like people with PTSD understand what I'm talking about. You get triggered and your conscious mind goes away and you're an animal and you're straight in survival mode. You don't even act like yourself. You just like attack. Well, you fight or flight. I'm a fight person. I'm not a flight person. Okay, let me read some more of these. Aw, thanks, Em. You so sweet. Hey, Bon Toms, Beignet. How long did it take you before you noticed a difference? Okay, so this you notice the first night, like, oh, the racing thoughts. God, I cannot keep a train of thought. So when I lay down, I have racing thoughts for about 2 hours. And I refuse to open my eyes because if I do, it'll be 4 hours. So I close my eyes and all I see are like pictures, squiggles, light, thought, segue, another thought for 2 hours. And I just lay there until it stops and I can go to sleep. It is exhausting. This is crazy. The pictures go from like this in about 15 minutes to kind of like slower thoughts. And then it's like, all I see is like a field with mist. And I know that sounds like a drug, but it's not a drug. My brain just, it goes from like this to this. And I'm like asleep every night within 25 minutes. It's crazy, but it doesn't make you tired. That is the weird thing. You can take this during the day. It's not that it makes me tired. It regulates my brain. My brain is basically fried. When you go through enough in your life, you can fry your brain. Brains can be damaged. They can be hurt. People, I think, really need to look a little bit more, just like the average day, average everyday person needs to look a little bit farther into neuroscience to understand what is going on in their head or what's going on if they've experienced trauma or any kind of injury. Like if you ever hit your head, you really need to look into brain scans and brain mapping and finding out what's going on with your brain. Because will forever affect your behavior, your mood, everything. Okay. Wait, you were abducted. I didn't catch what you said. Yes, I was kidnapped for 6 years. And I mean, I wouldn't honestly change it. I had 2 parents that could not get along when I was growing up. One tried to hurt the other. They both lost custody. We lived in a foster home for a year while they fought out custody. I remember that foster home. I remember some bad things in that year. I was 2 years old, you know. And then my mom was going to move with us to Japan. And my dad was never going to see us again. He didn't have custody at that point. And then he absconded with us for 6 years. And, you know, I love my dad. And my dad loves us so much. But what he did take a toll, you know. It was from 2 years old to 8 years old. And every day we lived in a different state. And we lived in the back of a pickup truck. So every day we lived in a different state. And I had different hair colors and different names. And those are the formative years, 2 to 8. Formative years are when a child takes in their surroundings. And their brain is developing their forever sense of what is normal based on their surroundings from 2 to 8. And so if a child's life isn't stable during those years, when they're grown, stability does not feel very comfortable to them. And that is something that I struggle with. Stability does not feel comfortable. Like, I want change all the time. And it's really hard trying to, like, raise kids when you're always trying to change, or, like, marriage was always really hard for me, those sorts of things. But anyways, when I was 8, so we ended up in the Ozark Mountains, and I lived in a survivalist situation. And then when I was 8, the FBI found us in the Ozarks. And we didn't have, like, electricity or running water. And, yeah, that's how I grew up. And I wouldn't take it back. I don't think that regretting anything that's ever happened to you is healthy, ever. You gotta, no matter what has happened to you, you gotta look for the positive, or it will ruin you. And I see so many women. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm, like, highly emotional. I see so many women come in here, and so many bad things have happened to some of them. And if you're watching and something bad has happened to you, and you feel like your life is bad now because of it, just know you have a choice. And everyone has the life they chose. Okay? And when I was young, I let my past make me someone I wasn't proud of, right? I was always like a victim. Ended up in jail a few times for some different things. And I finally just decided enough was enough. And it's one of the times I was in jail, actually, a Black lady said to me that I wasn't taking accountability for being in there. And that if I looked around me, all the women in there had bad stories, and that's why they were there. Not because something bad had happened to them, but because they were choosing to be a victim. And that really resonated with me. And I remember I was homeless at the time. I was living in my car. And I remember her thinking, she's so stupid. She doesn't know, like, look at me, like, I'm homeless. Like, what is she talking about? But she said if I could change my focus and focus on other people's pain, I would no longer notice my own. And I got out of jail, and I was, like, sleeping in my car. And I thought it just wouldn't leave my mind, mostly because no one had ever cared enough about me to try to help me. And I did Meals on Wheels, right? It's the only thing I could do. I was homeless, living in my car. And I did Meals on Wheels, and some of the things I saw when I was delivering meals made me grateful to be alive, made me grateful to have 2 arms, 2 legs. It just made me grateful. And I noticed, and so since then, I focus on other people's pain, you know, because sometimes our pain can be too much. So that is what I recommend to you guys. If any of you hurt so bad and your life isn't great, that is a choice you're making, you know. Don't let something horrible that happened to you determine a damn thing about your life today. It doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter I mean, if it's happened to you, it's happened to me. I've dealt with sexual assault. I've been kidnapped. I have been abused. I have been tortured. Sorry. I'm happy crying because I love you all so much. And if anybody's watching this and you're struggling, you have a choice. It doesn't matter how bad it is, whatever happened to you, you have a choice. You can have exactly the life you want. You just have to choose it. And I hope you do. Because I chose it. My life is beautiful now. And your life can be beautiful too, again, no matter what happened. Because I used to be that person, people would say that to me, and I'm like, no, you don't understand how bad what happened to me was. It is a choice. It comes down. It's a choice. It doesn't matter. There are people out there with way worse stories than me. It is a choice. But yeah, some things are out of our control, like my anxiety and my PTSD and my reactiveness, out of my control. And so that's why I want to share this with you guys. And I'm not financially benefiting from this, but God, this has changed my life. My life is beautiful, but I'm still dealing with the worst anxiety, you know. And it's not all the time. It's just sometimes, but it's overwhelming, and I'll have panic attacks. And so, I mean, it's completely changed my life. I mean, it's just completely changed my life. I am just so even keeled at all times. And for anyone who's missed anything that I've said so far, this will be posted for 24 hours. So when I'm done, I'll hit post, and then in about 10 minutes after it's done, it'll be up for 24 hours so you can watch it. But, oh, I'm sorry to cry. I've never actually spoken about any of this really like publicly before. The people closest to me know about it, but yes, I don't know. There's just so much hope out there. And I've been dark, and I've been down. I've been so dark I didn't think that like even Jesus could pull me out of it, you know what I mean? So I hurt for anyone who's hurting. So if you're hurting, just know it can be better, and it is a choice, and you've got to make it. You've got to decide, you know what? It's going to be better. And you know what you do after you make that decision? You read some books. I always tell people, if you want to change your life, the best way to do it is the first thing you need to do is alter the way you think. And you cannot just spontaneously change the way you perceive the world or you think. If you would like to think different, educate yourself. What is the easiest way to educate yourself? Read books, right? Can't just like pop over to college for a few classes on psychology. So there are a few books that will blow your mind if you really want to change your life. They changed my life. So The 4 Agreements is one. That's actually one I just read that just blew my mind. I listened to chapter 1 like 6 times because it was crazy. But The 4 Agreements, Unfuck Yourself. Yes, that's what it's called. Very good book. And You Are a Badass. You're a Badass is a really good one. And I love the psychology behind the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. But if you want to be better, or you want to be successful, you want to be healthier, take the steps and start with honestly just educating yourself with books. It's easy. It's that first step. You don't like to read? Great. Download an audiobook. Listen to the 10 minutes it takes you to get to work every morning. That's all it takes. Try. Just try. Like, just be better and just be happier, because it's possible. And get CBD oil, because it's crazy. Oh, I have PTSD and anxiety from when my son had a brain tumor. Even though he is fine now, we both still carry the trauma. Yeah. Okay, so if you don't want to vape it, you can just take it orally. You can actually take this one orally too. This is too thick to put in the vape. Bad. But you can take it. This is made for the vape, but you can take it orally. So this can go in the pen and orally. These are flavored. This one's waffles. So good. Okay. And so I do the CBD. How do you do the CBD? So I take like a 1/4 of the dropper thing. I can't open it. They're childproof. They're Christy proof. So I take a 1/4 of this dropper every night, and then I vape this like 6 times. And then if I'm feeling really anxious before work, I will vape this. Oh, the Raven Maven. Don't worry, I'm going to post this. It'll be posted for 24 hours. Aw, thank you, Family Journal. I feel your hug from here. And Laura Ann, thank you. You guys, your comments are so nice, I'm gonna cry. It was hard growing up with this and this history and telling people this. The moment I would tell anyone about what had happened to me, they'd just write you off. It sucked. It wasn't like a normal response. Like, people just assumed, well, you must be crazy. Like, that happened to you. You were kidnapped. You must be crazy. And then people just didn't want to be around you anymore. And I'm not crazy. You know, I'm a really nice person, an empathetic person. If people would have just taken the time to get to know me. So thank you for your love, you guys. It really means so much. Aw, thank you, Marissa. And that means a lot to me, Marissa, especially since you're, in the mental health field. Thank you for saying thank you. And yes, Phoenix, focusing on other people's struggles and helping heal other people is the best way to heal yourself, for sure. Oh, well, I will look. Okay, Phoenix. Dr. Caroline Leaf. See, I love looking into neuroscientists. I just think that, honestly, it's amazing. So is it weird to you that psychology and psychiatry are the only medical fields in which you're diagnosed and nobody even looks at the organ they're diagnosing? I watched this really amazing TED Talk on these brain scans they do, and they can definitively tell you what is wrong with your brain and heal it based on, your brain scans. Why don't we do brain scans? Doesn't that make sense? That's like a little bit archaic to just not even consider the brain when, diagnosing mental health problems. Oh, hey, Courtney. Okay, so the CBD oil is from thoughtcloud.net. I'll write this down. It's from thoughtcloud.net, and I have a coupon code right now, and it will give you 20% off anything. And the coupon code is FairyFam, like fairy family, but just FairyFam. Can you see it? Yeah. ThoughtCloud. Oh, I put .com. It's .net. And it's improved my memory too, which seems crazy because I just got this wrong, but I have never in my life been able to remember a damn thing. I put my keys in the fridge. I forget things I drove to Salt Lake once and I didn't even know why I was there when I got there, that kind of stuff. Well, all that mental fatigue has gone away. It's been amazing. But honestly, my favorite thing is that I'm just stable all the time. I'm just my mood is completely I'm not like this anymore because that's exhausting. And it actually is very detrimental to your health to be constantly stressed. So if you're constantly stressed, this is amazing. If you're anxious, amazing. If you have OCD, this is amazing. PTSD, amazing. Generalized anxiety disorder, amazing. The one thing that this isn't going to help, two things you need to know. If you take any medication that can't be taken with grapefruit, you can't do this because this has a similar blocker in it that grapefruit does. So it will block your medication. And people who are have mental illness, neuroses where they think they're being paranoia and they're being followed all the time and they think everybody's always out to get them, that's not going to help this. So that is good to know. And let's see. Let me just see if there's anything else I forgot. No, I think that's it. Wow. Now that I have just bared my soul to you guys, I think if I physically shake from anxiety, do you think this could help? Yeah, I really think you need to give it a try. I have seen some. Well, what state do you live in, Melanie? Okay, well, I'll wait for her to answer. But I don't know about shaking from anxiety, but this is really amazing for anxiety. But there's a Parkinson's video that blew my freaking mind out of my brain. But that was about medical marijuana. But they put just a drop of the oil under this man's tongue who had Parkinson's, and he was shaking uncontrollably. Oh, you're in Colorado. Okay, so there is legalized medical marijuana there. Parkinson's. This man has Parkinson's. This poor man is just like this all the time. He can't move. His muscles hurt. He's spasming all the time. And they put one drop of like medical marijuana oil under his tongue, and he stopped. It took like an hour, but he stopped shaking. And when you have Parkinson's, that's a 24/7 thing. You're always in pain because your body's shaking and convulsing and you can't do anything. And he stopped, and he was able to get up and walk, and he was in tears. YouTube that video. It is crazy. But shaking from anxiety. First, I want to give you a hug because that is awful. And second of all, yeah, try these things. Just try it. You know what I mean? See what happens. Consider, going and talking to a doctor and seeing what they say for that. But I know that I get panic attacks where I hyperventilate and my hands go numb and I pass out sometimes. That's how bad my anxiety is sometimes. And which isn't fun to say. Like, nobody wants to say that. Everybody wants to look all like put together and shit. But it doesn't bug me to say it. Like, I'm not 100. Who is 100? Who's 100% awesome and perfect? No one. So I'd rather just like be honest with you guys and not try to look like some perfect fake version of myself. But yeah, no, I have terrible anxiety. And sometimes it gets so bad that I want to disappear from life because I can't even face what's happening because I'm so terrified. And I haven't had any of those feelings since I have been taking this. I mean, it's absolutely changed my life. And just like the memories that have come back, like I had memories I never had before, and just the freaking ability to fall asleep. And maybe the memories are coming back because I'm able to sleep. Who knows? Sleep, super important for brain health. If you're not sleeping or you go to bed at like 2 a.m., like cut that shit out. Not good. Not good for your health, your aging, your brain, nothing. Anyways. Okay, all right. So I'm going to sign off for now, but I will try to put that link in my bio. So you can just click the link in my bio to check out their products. But again, it's thought, like a thought, cloud, like a cloud.net. And the 20% off coupon code is FairyFam. Like fairy family, but just fairy fam. Okay, anyways, thank you guys for bearing with me through just bearing my soul, just laying it out on the table, and being so supportive and kind. I love you guys so much, and I just so grateful for this community, especially because I live in the middle of nowhere. I don't have a community, but I have you guys, and it means a lot. But I'm signing off. I love you all so much. Check out their website. Give it a try. YouTube CBD. See what you think. You can educate yourself. Don't just take my word for it. Like, educate yourself. But I can tell you it's changed my life. Anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing... What day of the week is it? Monday. Ew, it's Monday. Nobody has a good Monday. I hope you have a great Tuesday.